South Africa, the KwaZulu-Natal coastline has been a hive of activity and fishermen are delighted once again. After a more than 2-year absence, shoals of sardines have finally appeared on the south coast of KwaZulu-Natal. The silvery fish are considered a delicacy by many and lauded as a bounty from the ocean every winter here in South Africa. It's been a fun-filled week for sardine lovers as baskets full of sardines are being netted. The annual sardine run is also considered a massive tourist attraction to the province. Now, the head of operations for the KwaZulu-Natal Sharks Board, Mike Anderson-Reade, he joins us in our Durban studio this morning to talk about the good news of the sardines running. Very good morning to you, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, and good morning to all the viewers as well.
Mike, just tell us about the excitement along the coast with the appearance of the sardines over the weekend. After 2 years, it's really making the people happy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I was fortunate enough to be on the beach at Mhlongo, just south of Mhlongo on Saturday, and we had 4 very big nets taken by the seine netters down there, and it's absolutely wonderful to see. I mean, people having an amazing amount of fun, people doing really silly things, but that's all what happens with the sardine run. It really is something spectacular.
And it really means a lot to the communities there along the coast in KwaZulu-Natal, doesn't it?
I think the important thing is that there's not much we get for free in life these days, and at least with the sardine run, it's something that we can all access as people who visit the beaches. And a lot of the people don't even eat the sardines that they catch. It's just the thrill and the excitement of getting involved in the sardine run and getting amongst the fish, and it's a wonderful, wonderful time.
Now, Mike, for viewers in other parts of the country, just explain to people how and why the sardines make their appearance on the KwaZulu-Natal coast during this time of year, which is winter, really, here in South Africa.
Yeah, winter in South Africa, but, you know, Durban, summer all year round. We've got really wonderful weather here for the entire year. In terms of the sardines, they move from the Agulhas Banks, which is southeast of Port Elizabeth. And at this time of the year, the Agulhas current moves slightly offshore. It's a very warm current, running at about 24 to 26 degrees. But at this time of the year, it moves offshore slightly, and it allows cooler water on the inshore region. And the sardines basically extend their range and run up the coast as far as the water cools down up towards KwaZulu-Natal. Interestingly enough, KwaZulu-Natal is the only province in the country where people can access these sardines from the beaches. Everywhere else they are netted out at sea with trawlers and other means of fisheries.
Now, we've seen the appearance over the weekend. Which areas have seen the biggest catches coming in on the coast there?
Well, Mhlongo Rocks was very busy on Saturday and late afternoon on Saturday afternoon in Durban. And then on Sunday, we had a wonderful day down at Ilovo, Sardine, Warner Beach in the upper south coast. That was absolute pandemonium. I mean, more than 10 nets were taken. A lot of fish are being caught by fishermen off the beach. So it really is a special time of the year. And if one looks at the weather at the moment, we have beautiful weather, warm conditions, sardines. What more can you ask for?
Now, Mike, we haven't seen the sardines for the last couple of years. It's been a big setback, one would think, for the province, but also not just for the people. You know, all the animals around there feed on the annual sardine runs: dolphins, sharks, game fish, everything, don't they? Yeah,
I think the important thing is that those animals are generally feeding on the sardines, even if they don't come up to KwaZulu-Natal. It is very important in terms of the ecological side. But, you know, those sharks and dolphins and that generally stay with the sardines. They don't always necessarily make KwaZulu-Natal because of the currents. Often it's not warm enough. The water's cold, not cold enough. And often what will happen is we'll have adverse currents, reverse currents, which the fish don't like to swim in. And so they may not make it to KwaZulu-Natal. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, the ocean's creatures can't still access them.
Are we concerned about climate change, that the sardines might stop coming up the coast?
It's a very difficult question to answer, and not being an oceanographer or a climatologist. You know, obviously it would be a concern, but at this stage in time, you know, we've had sardine runs up until the last 2 years. We're very, very quiet, but nature goes in cycles. So at this stage, I don't think there's anything to be seriously concerned about, and we hope this run produces a lot of sardines for everyone.
Well, there are lots of smiles down on the KwaZulu-Natal coast. Thank you for joining us. That's the head of operations of the KwaZulu-Natal Sharks Board. We're talking about the annual Sardine run. The sardines are back, and that's the good news. That was Mike Anderson-Reade joining us live from a studio